If you knew that the pain that you're feeling after you break up is not necessarily for the girl that you were in a relationship with, and it's not necessarily because you miss her, and it's not necessarily because she was the right girl, would you still miss her? And would you still be in pain because you're not with her anymore? So let's talk about it. That what is the real reason that you're feeling the pain after breakup? Is it her? Is it your significant other? Is it the person that you were in a relationship with? Or is it something else? In search of something else, stay with me till the end of the video. So, hello everyone, hope you're all doing well. We often feel terrible after a breakup, and we attribute this feeling of loss and missing and emptiness to the personality and the person that we were in a relationship with. Let's talk about one example so it will be easier to discuss it. A man likes a girl, and they're in a relationship, and they break up. And we're going to be talking about from the boy's point of view, man's point of view, just for the ease of delivery. So the man falls into a real deep feeling of hurt, missing, loss, possibly depression, and all the terrible feeling that a breakup brings with it. Can't study, can't do his job, can't attend to his duties, responsibilities, becomes a couch potato, stays inside the house and, seclude himself from all activities and all the regular things that we all are aware what a breakup entails. But is it really because of her? Is it really because of her? Is it really because of the woman that he was in a relationship with? Whatever your relationship is it really because of the other person in the relationship? Let's look deeper. You know that you are the content of your consciousness, and this consciousness has been developed through your childhood, the interaction with your parents, with your teachers, with your friends, with the television programs, with the environment that you live in, with the society and their norms and their lifestyles and everything else that affects you as you're growing up forms the content of your consciousness. And these contents of the consciousness for every human being is different than the other one. Even if they both, two human beings, are living in the same block of the city and exposed to the same experiences and events and learning and interacting with same people, their consciousness is going to be formed differently because the way that each event of life bounces in people's consciousness, it's different than the person next to them. It's like you're playing tennis and you're playing with the wall. Two people playing tennis with the wall. Same bracket, same ball, and when they hit in the same point in the wall, the ball returns to a different tangent, a different location. Even though same force, same style, a forehand, same position, and same point of hit. Because it has a lot to do with how hard it was hit, what slice it had, what little movement of the hand it had, what kind of a pressure was in the racket, what kind of a, type of racket it was. All of that makes the ball bounce differently, even though it's pretty much the same setup, the same wall, and so on and so forth. So the same events happening would affect and bring about a different reaction in each consciousness. All these happenings forms the content of your consciousness. And naturally, compatibility between two people, because of this fact of contents of the consciousness and the way they're formed are different in two people, even if they were living in the same block of the city, the compatibility between two people is not going to be the same, and that makes them different enough to have difficulty to get along in most cases. Unless they make big efforts and compromise and time passes and learn about each other's differences and are willing to compromise with those differences and come up with similar bouncing back of the events in their consciousness, this will not be a long-lasting relationship, and conflicts and divisions will bound to happen. So if you are really different with your partner, why is it that you think there is no one else that could be having more things in common in the consciousness with you? So if you really think about it, it can't be that she's the only one in this world that you can have things in common, because there could be somebody else that you'd have more things in common. There could be somebody else you'd have less things in common. There could be somebody that the content of the consciousness is more familiar and similar to how you were exposed to all those experiences and facts and information as you grew up. So that would be a better suitable partner for you. So you can't be saying that the woman that you broke up with is the only woman that you could have had a great chance to have a good, long-lasting relationship. So if not the case, if that is not the only woman that could give you the kind of life that you dreamed about, and there could be other women, as we just proved, and experience in life has proven to all of us, there's always somebody different, maybe even better in most cases, because we grow and our consciousness changes, the way we react to things changes according to our growth, and at different ages, our interest and standards changes, so the girl that we have actually broken up with would not be satisfactory to us as we grow in a few years from now, because our expectation and standards would be different at that time. So there's a very good chance that you will find somebody that you would be happier with in the future if you stop thinking that this was the only woman that could have given you the kind of life that you could have expected and be happy with. And the only woman that could meet your standards, because your standards also changes. This is why people are in love and in compatibility when they get to know each other, and when they get married, and then eventually a few years after marriage they fall apart and they're no longer compatible, and their mentality, expectations, standards have changed, and therefore they get divorced. So obviously, this will help you to know that we all change. We're all different to begin with, and we all change throughout the relationship. If we don't work on it, we don't grow together, we don't compromise, we don't focus on becoming more compatible, we will naturally drift apart. So if that's the case, why are you so devastated thinking that this is the only woman by knowing what we now know? So what is it that gives you the pain that you're actually feeling when you now know what we just talked about, that there could be, as sure as heavens and hells, well, maybe that's not a good example. As sure as we can be, there would be another woman, another partner for you, much better than the one that you experienced with. So why is it that we still feel pain? Well, because it is not the woman that is the source of the pain. Because to begin with, you think you love the woman, but the source of your pain is because you love the fact that you're intending to fulfill your desire for pleasure. So in fact, you're in love with your desire. It is the fact that you're unable to fulfill your desires for pleasure is what is giving you the grief, is what you're in pain, because you can't fulfill what your desire has commanded, asked, requests, and needs. And she was the one who could facilitate that desire to be fulfilled with pleasure. Now that facilitator is gone. And it's not the fact that the facilitator is the source of your pain and you miss it. Sort of, yes. But in reality, it is the fact that you're unable any further to fulfill your desire for that dopamine, that fulfillment, that pleasure that you seek, and bring that elation into your life and include that success to your happiness in life, because what was the pathway for you to be able to accomplish this is no longer with you. So not being able to fulfill your desire is really the source of your pain. So what you should be doing, you should be focusing on finding someone new, and that person definitely fitting and definitely meeting your standards better would be the one, the main source of helping you to facilitate, to meet and fulfill your desires with pleasure, and then your pain will go away. So instead of sitting at home and sobbing and figuring out what to do is to go out and get to know people, socialize, and be damn sure and confident that there will be women out there that meets your standards better, and you will have a better chance to fulfill your desire with the pleasure that is seeking. So you're in love with your desire, not necessarily with the girl. While if the relationship goes well, you could feel a love from her. But if it doesn't, that means you're not compatible. And why would you want to be with someone who's not compatible enough to help you to fulfill your desire for what you're hoping to provide for it, the pleasure and happiness? I'll talk to you soon.